This episode is brought to you by TwoLinedMusicHutStore.com. TwoLinedMusicHutStore.com is your all-access to culture. Check out cultural merchandise like leggings, hats, mini boxing gloves, and bags. Also t-shirts like hip-hop, nature, rock bands, reggae, and dark fantasy. Fast shipping worldwide. That's TwoLinedMusicHutStore.com. And now let's check out this episode. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And today, we have a really special guest in the building. Listen, this man here has out about 4 albums of crazy music. He has a new song out right now called Babylon So Cool with Wayne J and Turbulance. You know, we have in the building today, we have Neto Yuth in the building today. What's going on, my brother?
Yes, sir. It's an honor to be there.
Thank you so much for coming through the Entertainment Report podcast today.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, definitely. No, because you see the thing with it, I checked out, I've been following you for a while, but then I decided to really go down the rabbit hole and check out what you've been doing. And when I checked it out, I said, nah, man, we have to sit down and have a conversation. You know what I mean?
I remember the first time I saw you, about 4 years ago. It was a Woodbine Mall. I was performing there. I think I was opening for I win and
yes,
and you saw me say, hey,
yeah.
I added you on IG. I said, yes, sir, definitely.
You understand.
I say, yo, we have to link, and 4 years later,
here we are.
Yeah.
You understand. Well, on this podcast, we like to go right from beginning and then bring it up right to 2021. So my first question for you is this: where did you grow up, and what type of child were you?
Right. So I grew up, I was born in Quebec, Quebec City, actually. I was born at home. I wasn't born in a hospital. And then later in my teenage, I moved to Jamaica for a little while. Waterhouse, Kingston 11.
Well, now we're gonna get there just
But
now.
as a child, no. I was into sports. I was into music as well because my older brother is 20 years older than me, and he's a music journalist.
Okay.
So he will bring always records at the house and things of that nature. So I was into music, into sports. Yeah.
What type of sports were you into?
Basketball. Basketball, yeah.
In Quebec now, growing up, you said your brother, he was a music journalist. What type of music were you into growing up at that time there also?
At that time, I was more listening to hip-hop because going my generation, I was born in mid-80s. So it was more hip-hop, right? Growing up in the 90s, hip-hop was a predominant music at the time. So hip-hop, but then I always listen to reggae music as well because my brother will bring Studio One records and Dennis Brown, Augustus Pablo, King Tubby's and all those records, Garnet Silk at home.
Yeah.
So it was always in the background in my head. I was listening to that and I was always leaning toward reggae music. But hip-hop was the music I was really listening to at the time.
And when did the reggae really take you over? Do you remember a particular artist, particular song? What was in particular we said, this is what I really like?
It's a good question about reggae music. Yeah, I would not say not an artist specifically, but it was a Studio One compilation. I think it was Studio One Rockers or Studio One Lovers, if I remember correctly. And there was a whole heap of artists on this, but it was a Studio One compilation. No specific artist, but then I said, whoa,
yeah,
and something just boom.
Do you know what it was that just went off? Was it the bass line? Was it what they're saying? What was it in particular that you liked?
I always been a rebel. I was a wild child. I was a rebellious child. So for me, I was always kind of rebelling against the system, things of that nature. And I saw reggae music was about that as well. So naturally, I got, yeah.
So you're here growing up in Quebec and all that stuff there. So then when did you actually start to make moves towards actually becoming an artist? Or were you a DJ first? What was your first entrance into music?
Right. When I was about 13, I was writing lyrics and it was more leaning toward hip-hop. But because I had that reggae so-called background, listening to Buju Banton at the time and, DJ like this, I realized what I was doing was not really hip hop. It was more DJ and toast. I was more toasting.
Got you.
Without even knowing that what I was doing was DJing. Because I had so many words, and remember some radio personality in Quebec City saw me and he's like, yo, you have too much words, you spit.
Yeah.
You really do reggae, it's not hip hop you do it. And then something clicked. And then, because I was kind of singing at the same time, so it was not rapping, it was DJing and toasting and sing. And then I realized, oh, really what I'm doing is reggae music, and it's reggae, you know.
And who were some of the artists you were listening to at that time here now?
Gosh, at that time, Dennis Brown, you know, Garnet Silk, Buju. Then a little bit after then came Sizzla, Anthony B, Capleton, you know. Yeah, Garnet Silk too, yeah.
Definitely. So then now with music, you say you're rapping first. What was your first time in a studio or your first attempt to actually start recording music now?
Right. So to give you some basically I was DJing and I was doing freestyle and basement party and, you know, I was doing rap battle and all these things, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. One time I was in a party and there was this older Rasta man from Quebec City, from Jamaica, from St. Anne, named Daddy Rushy. And I was at the party there and I was underage, I was 14 years old. I don't even know what I was going in a grown ass party, but I was there and he heard me DJ and he came to me, he's like, "How was you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I thought that was the DJ, the music."
Yeah.
He said, "You're bad. Take my number." And at the time we never have no cell phone, so I write down up on that paper and come to my place and we are go DJ. I'm gonna show you to DJ. So the next Monday, you know, me call him, his wife and stuff. Say, "Yo, give me his address." Go to his place, go to his basement, and the whole day we toasted. On cassette, we record that on cassette. We did like 30 songs in one day. And yeah, so that was the first time really recording. Then after that, he bring me to a studio. And to the studio, I remember because the engineer said, you look so stressed. Because it was my first time in front of a professional mic. And I think I was 15 years old. And I was so stressed, man. Like, it was really something important for me, you know. So he's like, "Relax, take it, go smoke a spliff." So yeah, it was the first time in a studio.
And do you remember your first song that you professionally recorded?
Yeah, it was called Police. It was about police brutality, and it was on a mixtape from some rapper from Quebec. Yeah. And
was that in English or was it in French?
It was in French. So remember at the time, we never speak English, so French is I'm francophone. My native language is French. So that was in French. So I was DJing in French, you know. Yeah.
And how did you? So did you basically, because French is your first language, so did you basically learn English through the music?
No, you know, I never learned English. I learned patois.
Yeah.
And then this elder I was referring to, it kind of took me in and teach me everything about Ital food and cook food and Rastafari. And he never speak English either because he's a countryman from St. Anne. So he never, although he was there in Quebec for some time, he only speak patois. He's a bushman, so, you know. In order to communicate with him, I had to learn as well. So, you know. So I learned patois first.
Yeah.
I never learned proper English until I come to Toronto 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Then the reality strike me and I say, okay, I need to adapt and actually, you know. And because you talk with people and you start speaking proper English. But yeah, before that, I never speak proper English.
Yeah. Wow, that's serious to know that you went from French straight to patois. You know what I mean?
It's unconventional route, I must say.
And that's where he started to teach you about Rastafari and all those stuff there, and that's what you gravitated towards.
Yeah, always been spiritual. You know, I was 13, I was 14, and I was reading Quran, I was reading Ancient Testament, I was reading Egyptian Book of the Dead and things of that nature. But then I realized, as a way of life, Rastafari, I was more leaning toward Rastafari. And when I start learning about Rastafari, I say, okay, this is really what corresponds to my soul. Yeah.
Got you. Recorded your first track here now. You're saying Rastafari. When was the first time? I know 2008 was when you put out your first body of work.
My first album. It's called The New Jerusalem. And it was an album that we took our little hustling money and we print it and everything and we sell it in on the street. There was nothing a store, nothing like that. But we sold about 1,000 copies of that album.
Okay.
Yeah, which is still significant. But yeah, that was my first body of work. Yeah, The New Jerusalem, 2008.
And I know on that album there had a feature from Sizzla Kalonji.
Not on that album.
It wasn't on that album there.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Did you have any features on that album there?
No, there was no feature on that album. Yeah.
But okay, that wasn't Sizzla one. That was the one where you had songs in French though.
Yeah, that was strictly that project was 100% French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who did you think you were gonna market the music to if it's strictly in French at that time there?
Well, remember we used to listen to reggae music from France. At that time, in the 90s, there was some French group like, let's say, Reggae that the Mario is my bridging now, but at the time, those DJ in France were the one we were looking to because we never really speak patois, so we don't fully understand patois at the time. So we lean in more to the one that doing it in French. So in France, there's a big culture with reggae music, and then in the 90s and the 2000s, reggae music was big in France, so I had a lot of artists there. So for me, it was more marketing Europe and France.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was not even looking for Canada, really.
Yeah. And what did that do for you, especially if you said you were looking towards France? How did that do for your career at that time there?
What do you mean by it? What did it do to me?
Like, did you get a buzz in France? Did people start to realize, hey, okay, this guy here has some music coming out of Canada? What did it do for your career? Did people start to notice you at that time there?
Not at the time. At the time when we started, first me gonna France was when we released in 2010, we released a song called It's Getting Harder. And that got recognition in France, and because of that, I was able to go to France.
Okay.
Yeah. But before that, I was not really, I didn't know impact in Europe. But when I released that, because 2008, 2007, social media was not that great, maybe MySpace, but it was hard to connect, you know, like it's not as today. So, yeah, it was no impact. It was only impact in Quebec community, and all the artists from there, they recognize me now and they start getting me on the track, especially the rappers, because there's a big rap and hip-hop culture there in Quebec, so the rappers will get me into their songs and things of that nature.
Yeah. Good vibes there. All right. 2008, your first project came out. Now, I know that you moved from Quebec to Waterhouse.
Yeah.
Waterhouse, Jamaica. How was that move, and why Waterhouse of all places in Jamaica?
Because I had some links there. I had some links there. And Waterhouse is like the mecca of reggae music, you know. You have all those King Tubbies and Jammies, and you take Blackool, Junior Reid and Michael Rose, and so I had some links there and I just went there, and that was it, there was no really question about it.
And what was that, before we even dig into that, one thing I want to know, how did you get your name, Neto Yuth?
Yeah, so Neto is an acronym. It stands for, in French, matter of fact, it stands for New Student of Ancient Texts. And one of my bridging older brother is like, because we're reading Bible and the Quran and all those ancient texts, and Egyptian Book of the Dead and Buddhism, and we were reading all type of things, about 14 years old, and he named me that way. He used that acronym to name me. And then at the time it was Neto Philosoph, because this, and then this radio personality from Quebec named me Neto Yuth, because he say, yo, you're a ghetto youth because you're a ragamuffin, So he say Neto, you're Neto Yuth. And I think he spelled it Yuth. He forgot the O in a stage show, poster, and it stayed that way. We never, it just stayed that way. So there's no O, it's a Yuth.
Crazy. All right, let's get into your time, Waterhouse, because now you're leaving from Canada to Jamaica. Was that your first time in Jamaica?
Yeah.
What was that like? You're listening to the music, but then now you're going to Jamaica. What was that like your first time in Jamaica? Was it what you expected, didn't expect? I want to know from your eyes what that was like.
Wow, it was crazy, man. I like, muscle it. Because Waterhouse is the ghetto, but at the same time, it's the best ghetto in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was just to learn music and learn reggae music. Is the best school you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
The school of the sound system. I remember I couldn't sleep because sound system used to play all night from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. So I couldn't sleep. I was like, is it like this here? I can't sleep. People say, oh yeah, I saw it. So the things there. So no, it was great. And people were really acceptable. I didn't speak patois at the time very, very good and things of that nature. But when we start DJing French to them, they love it.
Okay.
They love it, and then after that, we start DJing patois, and it's like, boy, that youth, band, But it was just love. It was really, it was tough.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough because, everything that can happen in the ghetto, it's a tough community. No, Waterhouse is a little bit better now, but at the time, it was very rough, Election time, you need to sleep under the bed because bullets go through zinc fence. Things like that. Mm-hmm. But it was a great experience, and it toughed me up in a way. We were already ragamuffin, but no to our next level. You know what I mean?
Because you went right to the heart of it. This is Waterhouse. It's not like you went to country or somewhere. You went right into it. You know what I mean?
Straight. Yeah. And if I redo it, I wouldn't go nowhere else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Straight up.
When you got there now, who were some of the artists or even studios that you started to connect with while you were down there?
Studio I used to go, Friends for Real. Because Waterhouse and you have Olympic Garden. Mm-hmm. And Olympic Garden is not far from Waterhouse, so I used to walk to Friends for Real. Mm-hmm. Now I used to connect with Bunny General. Because Bunny General always used to be at Friends for Real. Yeah. So big up Friends for Real, big up Benji, the owner and the whole team, yeah.
And what was that like now that because remember, when you're in a studio in Quebec, it's a totally different than being in a studio in Jamaica.
Yeah, 100%.
What was that like?
Well, I learned a lot. Mm-hmm. I learned different method of recording, different technique, different... so it was great. Mm-hmm. Lot of learning. It was like a school. I learned. It was a school, Mm-hmm. So yeah.
That was down there. So you're linked with Friends for Real, Bunny General and stuff. So you recorded music as soon as you got there, or it took a while to really start recording?
No, it took a while. Mm-hmm. It took a while, because I didn't have a lot of funds at the time, and I was a youth and almost like teenager still, so I was more in the ghetto and just chilling with the people. And I didn't come out of Waterhouse. I didn't really come out of Waterhouse, to be honest. I didn't go uptown. I didn't go. Sometimes I go to Coronation Market with my mother, and she takes me there. We go do some shopping, go to Coronation Market. But aside from that, we not really come out of the ghetto, So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to go to Jammies or anything like that?
Yeah, I went to Jammies. I never met Jammies, but I know Baby G. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
but you see, all right, so where I used to live at the corner of Unity Lane and Balcom Drive. Mm-hmm. Unity Lane is the same street Binneman bought. So two house away is Binneman. His family house is still there.
Yeah.
Really, literally 2 hours away. Mm-hmm. You see, you have Balcom Drive, and Jammies is more that way. And because there's always liquor turf war, I usually stay within my... So we don't really go to Jammies because at that time, Jammies area was a lot of turf war going on there, lyrics area and this area. So we not really too go there. Yeah, I more go to Buckers, Samakian, that more my areas where I go because my people are from there. Yeah.
Crazy. Link with Bunny Jenner. Who else did you link with while you're down there?
At the time, at the time, not much people at the time. I was linking with who was at Friends for Real, most likely. But not much artists at the time. It's more after that when me forward to Canada, establish my name and everything, record more songs, and then forward to Jamaica, and then start linking with other artists. But I know you're going to talk about this little more.
Because '08 was the first project, but then you took a while, probably 6 years later was when your second project came out.
Matter of fact, in between, I released a mixtape. In between, I released a mixtape that was sold in the street in Montreal and Quebec.
How did that do? How did that do?
It did great. Yeah, it did great. Because at the time, remember, we used to sell CDs. You know, guys, you know. Yeah. So it was one-to-one, and it was great. It's the best marketing, if you ask me. It's like your card, so you go there, boom, you make some links and but it was until 2014 was my second official album in store with a record label. Yeah.
And how did this now do for your career?
It's so all right. Now 2014, I forward to Canada now. And I got signed with a label which is a subsidiary from Universal Music Canada.
Okay.
The name is Ikaya Records. They're one of the biggest labels in Montreal and Quebec. And they signed me, and we did a reggae album. But no, for them now to market reggae music, they're more used to market pop and hip-hop. They don't know to market reggae music. They should have taken that to Europe, but they take it to Canada. So the album was great, especially because the album was half in English and half in French, half in patois and half in French. So me mix both. So some songs may have patois, some songs may have French. The thing now is that on that album now, a collaboration with Dada, Sizzla now.
Okay.
And at the time, because on my views, my spiritual views, no, somebody from the label, I think, probably was a funny man, and he called, the CEO and tell him, say Sizzla, I don't like funny man, and Neto Yuth don't like funny man, and So after that, they cut my fundings, and the PR for the record label was a funny man. So everything went south, and they didn't market it properly. It was a great album, great potential, but it never reached to the highest potential it should have reach because some haters and some other things. But we still give thanks. It was a great experience. We toured the whole Quebec, we did all the big stage, and we opened for Sean Paul, 15,000 people crowd and all kind of big stage show, and I had my band at the time. So we were doing music like crazy. So it was a great experience, but they never took the project where it should have been.
Or it should have gone.
Really, yeah.
Okay. Sizzla now, how did you connect with Sizzla?
Right, so Dada know, his sister, Tuti, is a friend of mine. And then, so I used to hang out by Judgment Yard and one time she's like, yo, you need to do it. You're a bad artist, Neto. You need to do a song with my brother. So she introduced me with Dada, and Dada said, yo, take down my number. And I was like, what? Dada give me his number? Remember, I was young at the time, And so from there, forward to Canada, and there was a last rhythm on the album. There was a last rhythm where I think I make it listen to Chesdek, and Chesdek didn't end up recording on it. And me was texting Dada, I was texting Sizzla, and Sizzla said, yo, a rhythm, forward some rhythm. I forward the rhythm, and I had two verses already laid down on it. So we never record the song together. So we already had two verses on it, and Sizzla just, psh, and his sister texts me the next day, it's like, yo, your rhythm is playing night and day. Dada want, crazy about it. And then he sent back the vocals and history. And then we forward and we did the video. So we forward with a team, with a record label, with like 8 people. We forward to Judgment Yard, and we shoot also in Waterhouse. We did the video, and that was Dada 36 Earth Strong. So the day we shoot the video, That was Dada Earthstrong. So that was a very special day. And all through the shooting, Dada keep on thanking me for doing this video. And I'm like, Dada, thank you. And he's like, no, Neto, give thanks. It's a blessing. We do this today on my restaurant. I'm like, Dada, thank you. So it was a great experience.
Yeah, that's big right there, especially somebody like a Sizzla, you know what I mean? And that's on your second album. So even somebody like Ikaya Soul, when do you connect with her?
Ikaya, another artist from Waterhouse, right? She used to live on Balcom Drive. I used to live on Balcom Drive in Unity Lane, so she literally right the corner. But Ikea, she's not a woman who come out really in the ghetto. She like to be like a uptown girl. Big up Ikea, same way, But no, her dad, Bingy Blair, which is Capleton's best friend. Bingy Blair is Ikea's dad, and Bingy Blair always harassing me for doing a song with Ikea. And boom, we do a song. She came to Canada like 4 years ago. We did a show together. I booked her for that show. And then we say, she's like, my dad not stop telling me we need to do a song. So she forwarded to my studio and recorded the song. Yeah.
That was Drama.
Drama. Yeah.
Big. And how did that song do for you guys?
It was great. It's still doing great. Yeah. It's a great song. Yeah.
Because what I like with what you do, you put out a lot of visuals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, think about it, Muscle. These days is before it used to be more of an hearing era. Now we're in a visual era. See, the whole thing with the metaverse and everything coming, we're in a visual era. First of all, people attention span very short nowadays. And no, people need to see things. If they don't see no visual, they're not going to pay attention to a song. So even if you put on a song, even if you don't have no video, it's good to put a lyric video so at least people can relate on it, right? So visual are very important nowadays.
You're 100% right. Because I know when you moved up to, say, 2017 now, you came out with this is a mixtape you came out with.
I didn't call it mixtape. At the time, I call it pure tape.
Yeah?
Because there's no mixing. It's only pure. Right?
Time and space, pure tape.
Time and space, pure tape. And the concept was time and space. Why? Because I recorded so many songs during the past 7 years. So that was in 2017. So from 2010 to 2017, recorded so many songs. I had about 100 songs.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I cherry pick some of them songs and put them in this project, right? So it was really songs where never got on no album. Yeah.
And at this time here, this was when you were living in Toronto. At this time here now.
Yeah, I just moved to Toronto, created my label, Article Youth Records, and we printed like 10,000 copies of that. And I had a team in Montreal called Sovereign Music Movement, and what they do is they sell CDs in the streets. That's what they do. And they sold 7,000 copies of that. Those people make $4,000 a day. There are two people. They are like 10 of them, but there's 2 of them in the street every day hustling.
Yeah.
That's all they do. Winter, no matter if it rain, and they sold 7,000 copies of that pure tape. And this is a lot for the streets.
Come on, boss.
7,000 copies. This is a lot.
And we're not talking about, it's not like it's a mixtape where it's like you and all these other artists. This is you in particular. And for you to move those type of units, that's a lot, boss.
That's a lot. And those people, they sell to everyone in the street. It's like no matter white, black, Chinese, old, young, they come to you and say, I have great. And they have other artists too that, so it was like a partnership with them. So they are hustlers, man, and I have to give them their credit because they move a lot of units. Yeah.
That time there. So then now, what was it like moving to Toronto? Because, Toronto's like the big city in Canada. How easy was it for you to settle yourself into the music scene when you got here?
Well, let's talk about sickling myself first. Let's not talk about music. Toronto is a big city, Never been in a city never lived in a city so big before Toronto. Kingston is not that big. Montreal is not that big. Quebec is not that big. So came here I came here because my baby mother was pregnant, and my baby mother was from Toronto, right? So I came there for my son. I really came here to be a dad 7 years ago, and ended up in a little trouble with the law and and it was the first year, it was hell. I didn't know no one here, no one in the music.
Yeah.
And then me start linking with Lindo. Lindo was the first one, and then Noble Works and Lindo and Soul Survival and those people, you know. And those people, they give me a shot, so, you know, yeah. So, and then after that, it's just you meet one person and snowball effect, and you meet the next person, and and people hear from about you. And
because you were doing your stuff at this time here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that was in 2018, 2019. Yeah.
So you said, so it was, as you said, you didn't know anybody, but Lindo was the one that really introduced you to one person that opened more doors from there.
But matter of fact, I think Noble Works introduced me to Lindo. Yeah. But then Lindo introduced me to other people, and other people introduced me to other people, and from there, you know. I think for me, you have good content, from you have good music, it's very easy, you know. You don't have to go everywhere and try to sell yourself, you know. For me, you have good music, yeah.
And at this time here, the internet was in full swing. So then now you could network more with social media at this time here now too.
Yeah, because that was 2017. So I mean, internet was there, but it was not as big as now, right? So yeah, the networking was another dimension.
Yeah.
To networking than nowadays.
And what were some of your first songs you started to record now that you're in Toronto now?
In Toronto, no. What song I started recording? Well, I recorded a whole album called Exodus, Not an Exile. I recorded a whole album when I was there. Yeah. So
that was came out on your label.
Album. That came on my label, and that came in 2020. 2020. That was 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, and that one there, I know you'd put out a couple of visuals. Well.
Yeah, couple of visuals for that one.
Was that the one where you did the mini movie?
No, that one was a project from Gold Up Records. That was not on any of my album. That was with Gold Up Records. We did a mini movie with my Bridging Face. Yeah.
And it was called Fame.
Fame.
Yeah. Tell me how, because that was pretty wicked still. How did you guys even come up with that concept and do something like that in the first place?
So I like movies and I like shows, and I think after music, a lot of artists they go towards making movies or actors or acting and things like that. All my videos I direct or I either co-direct.
Okay.
All of my videos. So this one we came together, me and Wayne J. Father, which is like my best friend. He's also a director. You know, he have a whole heap of ideas, always some ideas, and we came together, you know, one morning and we say, yo, we have to shoot that video, and yo, we have an idea, and then we start writing. We write the plot. Boom, boom, boom. And now we have Face, which is a big actor as well in Jamaica. You know, he's in Junior Gang videos, Busy videos, Wayne Marshall. What's the song with Marshall? Glory from God. He's the main actor in that too.
Okay.
So he's from Samarkand, you know, the other side of Waterhouse. So he's my bridging. Every day we're together. So we're like, Face, we need you. And say, yo, don't say a word. Wait. Boom, get the team. And it was one day and it was done.
It was done. Big there. You brought up somebody, Wayne J's father, because I knew you and Turbulance linked and did a video about a year or two ago.
Last year, matter of fact. Last year, we did a song. And that link was funny because I never met Turbulance in Jamaica, but I met Turbulance in Toronto.
Okay.
At Inity Studio, at a dub session. And that was Noble Works putting that dub session together. And I was in the booth. I'm always going to remember that. I was in the booth voicing a dub for, what's his name again? Blacks Done the Place.
Okay.
I was doing 2 dubs straight. Kill it, murder it, come out of the booth. Turbulance was sitting there. I mean, he was not there when I came in the booth first. So, and he's like, Turbulance was like, Rasta Youth, you're bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, Turbulance. I grew up listening to Anthony B. Capleton, Turbulance, all those artists. He's like, yo, we have to do a song. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No say a word, bro. So there was Noble Works there, and no, Noble Works have a band called Iron Roots, as a Canadian band, reggae band. And they never released no album yet at the time. They never released no project, but they had whole heap of rhythm. So let's select one of the rhythm that we have, and Turbulence picked that rhythm. The song is called Without You. That was in 2018. And we never released the song until last year. And then last year in 2020 during COVID, went to Jamaica, we shoot the video. Yeah.
Because that's where I've seen Wayne J in that video there also.
Right. Wayne J is like my nephew. This is family right there. This is my nephew. Because, all right, me used to live Unity Lane. So me used to live at the corner of Balcom Drive and Unity Lane. The next lane now is Christian Lane. And Wayne J live on Christian Lane. Right? And then you have there you have the bridge. You know the red bridge where Biddy Man say, if you cross the bridge, you end up in Nassau Road. That's the bridge. And the other side you have Jews land, right? So you have the bridge there, and every day at the time, me used to walk across the bridge and go to the plaza across Washington Boulevard, do a little hustling. And before that night, Wayne J father was there every day, hustling trees, and knowing, he stopped me one day, he started talking, and he's like, oh yeah, Rasta, and we start talking about spirituality and religion and Nation of Islam and Hebrew Israelite and all kind of things. So yo, that man, they have knowledge. So I'm like, yeah, because he used to live in New York and he got deported. He went to Rikers Island and got deported. And at the time, Wayne J was probably 1 year old. That's 18 years ago. Right? Because Wayne J now is 18 years old. And so I grew up with Wayne J. I grew, he's like my nephew. And it's that, from that day, that became like my best friend. Every day we used to party and, yeah. So that's the story behind it.
That's how you got it there. No, that's big, because even before we get into the new song with Turbulence and Wayne J, I know that you put out a slew of music videos there too. You even had Best Father, I think it was?
Real Father,
yes. You even had a challenge to go with that too.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What was the story behind that song?
All right, I'm a single father, and for me is like father don't get enough recognition nowadays. I see a lot of fathers struggling. I see a lot of good father amongst my friends, among my brethren. But father don't get recognition as they should. Me know some single father too, only for them.
Okay.
But they never get recognition. So I put that song together called Real Father, and I did a Real Father challenge. So all the father, they send their video and with their children singing the song and this. But I thought it was important. So, all right, looking at reggae music now, there's about 3 songs about father. Vibes Cartel, Chris Martin, Conscience, and Neto Yuth. Name another song about fathers. All the songs about mothers. Me love my mother, big up to all the mothers. But the father, them need recognition as well. There's not enough song about father in a reggae music. So I was like, very important that I do a song about father, as myself as a father.
Yeah, that makes sense, because as you said, there's a lot of mama songs and mom and all those stuff there. But father songs, I was even surprised that you had 3 other names to call, because I don't even really remember father songs like that.
Right. I think there's the Vibes Cartel song, the Chris Martin, and the Conscience song, and that's about it. No, if you know another one, let me know. If anybody know another father song in reggae music, let me know. But most of the songs, they're about mama,
You're right. A name you brought up earlier, Lindo P. I know you had him in a video called Hustle.
Yeah.
How did you guys connect and put out that video there? Because he's not a featured artist on it. He's just in the video.
Yeah. So that video, it's called that song's called Hustle. And it's really a motivational song, about hustling and, for the youths. Because I think my music is motivation. Aside from social comment and spirituality, and conscious songs. I think it's very important to have motivational songs. I want to teach the youth about investment, and everybody can, the way they can make it. And so I released that video, and I called people to come in at the video. I called Love Jones. You know Love Jones?
Of course.
Yeah, I called Love Jones, and we meet by Noble Works and and then Lindo called me, he's like, yo, I can forward to the video. I'm like, yo, of course I can forward to the video. What you mean, man? So, big up Lindo, because first of all, he's a great artist, but he's also a great selector, and he always support me. So, yeah, big up my brother Lindo.
Big there. Talk about hustling. I know you have another visuals and a song too called Money.
Yeah, Money song.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing, we want, because, all right, we are Rasta, but we like nice things. Look at the Emperor now, Ali Selassie, I love nice things. No wrong with that, and we need money, because money is a currency, money is a current, and current is energy, so with money you can accomplish anything. So it's very important. I think some Rasta, they don't really like money. I'm like, money is progress, and we all need money.
You do.
Yeah, we need money.
Yeah.
Take care of our families, and we need to buy food for the homeless and build studios for the youths that can. Because right now I'm building a studio in Waterhouse.
Okay.
So we want to do. There's so many things. We need to take care of poor people. We need to take care of people that can afford things and things of that nature, right? So money is important, and poor people need money, and we all need money, man. Yeah,
makes sense. What I like with your lyrical content, you have a bit of everything for everybody. You know what I mean? And you keep it normal. You don't OD on it. You know what I mean? You could talk about money, you could talk about girls, you could talk about all these stuff here, but you don't OD on none of it. You understand?
All right, no, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to tell you something. Sizzla teach me that. You know what I'm telling me? Say, Neto, you need to have songs. You need to have one album girl song, one album Rasta song, one album gangster song, one album party songs, one album, your catalog need to be wide. And this is one thing I will never forget what Dada teach me. I'll always be grateful for that. So after me meds that, I may do 1+1, I say, all right, we need to have songs for everyone. Rasta, girls. Because before me, I only have Rasta songs, and the girls, they kind of,
Yeah.
So we say, all right, we need more girl songs, and we need more youngster song, party songs. We need songs for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone need representation. So that's one thing that I teach me, and I took his advice on that and try to apply it in my music.
That makes sense, because you could see, because it's a bit of this, a bit of that, but again, the lyrical content is never overboard. It doesn't get outrageous, you understand?
What do you mean by overboard?
As in, you don't get crazy with the music. You still keep it to a level, because you're a Rasta. Yes, so you're singing about girls, so you're singing from it, your point of view. You're singing about money, you're singing from it, your point of view. You're singing about the thugs, you're singing about it from your point of view, which is still a Rasta point of view. You understand?
Right.
Yeah, man.
Right. So, so we try to respect everyone. We not go too much in a slackness, but we still, we need to,
Yeah.
so it goes.
Crazy right there now. So then now, your newest song right now, before even that, Exco Levi, when did you and him connect and do a song?
Exco, all right. So, we used to see Exco plenty time in Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah. See him at studio and see him dance, and all. Exco always roll by himself, and we see him, and as Canadian fellow artists, we hail each other and things like that. But I did a tour with Ginjah. When was it? About 5 years ago. We did a tour with Ginjah, and me and Ginjah had a crazy performance in Montreal at Taste of the Caribbean Festival. And the crowd was lit. Me and Ginjah jumping, and I post a clip of that. And then Exco called me, and he's like, yo, all right, we can talk about it. Because, big man thing. And big up Exco for everything he does for Canada, reggae music, sure. And, So Exco called me and he's like, yo, I want to sign you. I want to sign you on High Priest Music. I said, no problem, so we can chat and discuss. But remember, I have also my record label and things like that. But he's like, yo, I want you to open for me. When I have my stage show, I want you to open for me, just like, Chronics have, Kabaka Pyramid before, but, well, that was before, right?
Yeah.
And Kelly signed those people. So that's why Exco tell me. So, all right, we go Jive Brampton, go so boom, go by Exco, and we discuss and thing like this, and we say, yo, we need to do a song together. So get my producer officer in a rhythm, and we did Ethiopia one more time, write the chorus and everything, boom. But then after that, he never really follow up on, opening for the stage show for him. So, we never really, got concrete from that. But yeah, so that's how we link. He give me a phone call and say, yo, I saw your performance and I want to sign you. Yeah.
That's wild there. Yeah, I mean, especially I tell people, especially when you're performing, you never know who's in the crowd, who's seeing you, where it's going to really lead to you. So you always want to go out and do your best.
Always. Yeah. Even if there's 2 people there in the crowd, you always do your best.
Yeah.
Always.
You don't know who those 2 people are or who they know.
Or who they know.
Yeah.
Or who they connect with.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
Crazy right there. Your new song with Wayne J and Turbulance. How did you guys come up with this song here right now? And it has a music video also.
Right. So, all right. So we did this. I did a song with Turbulance, Without You, the other song, last year. And then my producer, Bob Rhythm, who I work with in my team now, would produce most of my song, the Money song, Ethiopia One More Time, this one. He's like, oh, I kind of missed that song. I wish I had produced that song with Turbulence. So he's like, can you get Turbulence on that song? And so I just called Turbulence, and Turbulence said, yo, forward the rhythm. Next day, forward the vocals. And then Black Hero was supposed to be on that song with Wayne J. Because at the time, it was Wayne J and Black Hero just released their EPs, and my same producer, Bob Rhythm, is the one produced the EPs for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like, yo, let's get Hero and let's get Wayne J, because we have a liquor, that's our liquor camp right there.
Yeah.
Right? So Black Hero was supposed to be there, Wayne J was supposed to be there. Finally, we realized there was too many artists on the song, so we just keep Wayne J on the song. But yeah, because Wayne J's family was just natural to have it on the rhythm, naturally. Yeah. And then we shoot the video, but because of COVID, we couldn't go there. We shoot the video. I had my team in Jamaica shooting the video, and I have my team here shooting the video. So we just take the thing
and put it together.
And big up the one Muay Thai, Simon Marcus. We shoot the video at the Muay Thai gym there. If you know Simon, he's the former Muay Thai champion, my brethren. So, he's in the video, and so big up Simon for allowing us to shoot at the gym. I practice Muay Thai as well for about 15 years, so,
Yeah.
Yeah. And recently I started training with him. Yeah. And he has a UFC, he started in UFC in December. So it's a huge thing, man. Yeah.
All right, so you're connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You got the link with them. Is this song here now, Babylon So Cool, is this part of an upcoming project or is it just a single that you'd put out?
Right, upcoming project. Yeah, we're going to release an EP. So we take our time, we want to do it the right way. But the main strategy now, so before we used to release albums and pure tape and mixtape and with 30 songs on them. But in this era now, people really are more leaning towards single. And people attention span very short, as we were saying before. And no album, a lot of people don't listen to album anymore, to be honest. So me and my team, the strategy that we came together with is that we decided for the past 2 years to release singles. So let's say last year I released 11 singles. Right? That's the album right there, but we still decided.
You put it in single form.
Correct. With the single now you can have the visual attached to the single. You can have a lyrics video or video and So that was the strategy, and it worked so far, as a marketing strategy to have singles versus albums. But then I think that real artists still should release album because that's a body of work. Everyone can release singles, not everyone can release album, because to put an album together, it takes a certain artistic intelligence and to put that together. So we come from that album era. Now we in a single era. right? But I would still like to do albums, and so we're gonna release an EP. We're gonna release one roots EP and one dancehall EP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it coming out this year or next year? When could we look out for the
next
album?
year? Next year. Yeah. Yeah. Because we take time. We're not in no rush. We have album already and things. Not really singles. And next year we're gonna release the EP. Do it correctly. Push in Europe because we have a PR team in Europe with Iriites. So really want to push it more in Europe, Africa, and yeah.
And when did you actually learn the business of the business?
It's a good question, in the boss. Reading, because we love to read, and we love to educate ourselves. Sizzla teach me a lot about the business.
Okay.
It teach me a lot, because Sizzla studied the business as well. Aside from music, it teach me a lot from spiritually, but also music. And we learn from elders. So other artists, like, they're gonna teach us or teach us the rope, but also we educate ourselves. We read about publishing, we read about rights, master. I think every artist should own their master. Very important. If you're an artist in 2021, 2022, you need to own your master. 360 deals are not relevant anymore, right? 360 deals with labels are not. You don't need a label anymore. You don't need no expensive studio anymore. Things change and technology evolves so quickly, and things change, and we need to adapt to that and learn. So I read a lot of books about the music business and royalties and publishing and master your masters, your rights, and things of that nature. Yeah,
I could tell because whenever you look at your Instagram and stuff, there's always some book that you read. It always recommending a book.
Yeah.
Always.
I try to recommend a book every month. Yeah.
What would you say are your top 3 must-read books?
Oh, gosh.
Random off the top of your head.
Oh, Lord. I will say 1, Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. That's the only one I'm going to give right there.
There must be 2 just off the top of your head.
It's an esoteric book.
Yeah.
Occult. But, I will just say this one for now. Because aside from that, I can't pick. But this is like a Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And reading was always a part of who you were?
Yeah, I always used to educate. My parents were teachers. My 2 parents. So if I come home and I have a error on my test, I get licks.
Yeah.
So, aside from that, I used to read, and still reading. I mean, I read every day. I think I try to read 20 minutes every day, even if I'm busy. Try to read, because, all right, we do Muay Thai and we do this and we work out, but we need to work out the brain as well, because the brain is your biggest muscle.
You understand.
And you are muscle.
You get it. You seemed very disciplined. That seems to be something I really pick up when it comes to you.
We're not always been, but discipline is very important. If you want to achieve anything, you need discipline. If you don't have disciplines, well, you're going to go in every direction and nothing going to manifest, If you want to manifest your ideas, because it's all starts in your head. Everything we see in that room started as an idea. And then it manifests in the physical world, right? But we are spiritual being, and we understand spirituality, and it starts from thoughts, And with thoughts, no, you need discipline, because if you want to achieve something and you have vision, but no disciplines to go with that vision will not go nowhere. So yeah, discipline is very important. Is what puts you in the right wheels to go into the right direction.
Makes sense. Being a reggae artist out of Canada, how easy or how hard do you find that, especially right now?
Out of Canada? It's a good question, Muscle. It's a good question. All right. No, things evolve rapidly. Now we have streaming. And things like this. I posted about that couple last week about streaming. How come artist share are so low versus, let's say, Spotify CEO net worth is $5 billion. How come he has so much money, but when you do 1,000 stream on Spotify, that is equivalent to $3 that artists receive. So 1,000 stream is $3, $3 to $5, depending if you have your master and rare. $3 to $5 that the artists receive. But how come Spotify CEO makes so much money, right? So the good thing now with streaming is that you have access to the data and the analytics. So you can see who, what age, on what device they listen to your music, which country, which city. You have all those statistics now. So you can see my biggest, I would say, fan base or supporters, they are not in Canada.
Okay.
They're in Europe and in Africa.
Okay.
And me will never know that without streaming. And streaming was not available in so-called third world country up until this year. Spotify just came to Africa, I believe, last year.
Okay.
Jamaica, same thing. One of my brethren, one of the biggest artists from France and the French Caribbean, is named Kalash, and he went to sit down with Spotify CEO France. Like, how come Spotify is not in the French Caribbean? That's where my main, fan base is. And 6 months after that meeting, Spotify was in the French Caribbean, but we had to push. He had to push for that. So I know we divert a little bit, but yeah, out of Canada now, it's great because no one is a prophet in his own country, and you never get the love in your own country, and that's like a universal rule, right? So people from all over the world writing me, and Canada is like, but Europe, Africa, French Caribbean, the love is crazy, yeah.
And have you ever been over there to perform yet?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
How was it actually? Streaming is cool, you see the analytics and stuff, but when you now go and see the people, touch the people, and sing to them, how was that?
Oh man, it was great. So I was in Europe, performed there, but where I want to go is to perform to Africa. Before pandemic, I was supposed to go to Uganda, and then boom, COVID happened. But I was supposed to go to Uganda. The love is crazy over there. And tell you this. Yeah, I really want to go there. So that's my plan. Even if I have to book my own plane ticket, I'll go. I'll go reach. Yeah.
And you're saying Europe because that's where Albrosi, Gentleman, and all of them. Do you get those comparisons a lot of the times?
I get Gentleman, yeah. Even in Jamaica sometimes. Yeah. But them say, you're better than Gentleman. I'm saying, don't compare me. Gentleman's a bad artist. Yeah.
And do you like the comparison? You don't mind the comparisons? You're doing your own thing. What's your thoughts on that?
Super Hype asked me the same thing when I was on Hype TV doing an interview with Super. He asked me the same thing. He's like, you sound like Gentleman. I'm like, no, I'm not sound like Gentleman. No, I sound like Gentleman. It's an honor because those are great artists. I tell no lie, but I sound different. I have my own sound, so I don't like being compared. But I take it as an honor, same way. Yeah.
Definitely. So we could expect a body of work next year. You're in 2 bodies of work.
Yeah, two EPs.
More touring.
Yeah. If touring allowed, yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Where's your favorite spot to be? Writing the song, recording the song, or performing the song?
Performing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, performing the song.
Why would you say performing?
Because when you have the live energy, it's different. When you write the song, you don't know what the song gonna sound like. When you record the song, you don't know what impact the song gonna have. But when you release the song, you see the impact, you see the love. If people love it, or if people don't love it, who love it. But then when you perform the song, you already know people love the song, and then you see them react in front of you. So it's live. So for me, I will say yes, stage show.
Who else are you looking to collaborate with?
I have a big collaboration on the new EP, but I don't know if we can say it. I don't know if we can say it. Well, if I say it, my producer gonna kill me for this. But Anthony B.
Okay. Yeah.
Anthony B. Yeah. I always want to, one of my favorite artists. I always want to collab with him. And we collaborate with him last month.
And what was it like actually connecting with somebody like Anthony B? Because you linked with Sizzla, you know what I mean? Now this is Anthony B. What was that like working with Anthony B?
I know Anthony B because we met already at some festival. I opened for him already in Montreal, Montreal Reggae Fest and things like this. So he's no stranger to Neto Yuth, and he see the work. So it's just very easy because you send him the track and the music, and he's like, whoa, this is great. So it's not like any artist sending him a song, and it's not really just, it's not for money, it's really because he loved the music.
He rates his style.
Yeah.
And if you were to compare your style to anything out there, who would you really compare your style to?
Oh, gosh. You know. It's a tough one. We won't compare to anyone. Me, I'm Neto Yuth. I can sing. I'm a singer, I'm a DJ, I can toast. I'm versatile, you know, so I don't want to compare myself to no one. Yeah.
No, your style, crazy, boss. You know what I mean?
Give thanks in general.
Yeah, no, definitely, because I really like how versatile you are. You know what I mean?
And that's what we're aiming for, you know. We try to have different style, you know, different. One good example is Busy Signal. Busy Signal is very versatile. He can do some soca, hip-hop, reggae, dancehall, and all of them he does very well. So for me, I don't like to put music in a box. I don't like to classify myself as a reggae artist because music doesn't have no frontier. Music is universal and infinite. If you put music in a box, it can't go so.
Yeah.
So I don't like to say reggae artist. If you give me a soca rhythm, I'm gonna kill it. If you give me a hip hop rhythm, I'm gonna kill it. If you give me a soul rhythm, matter of fact, I'm trying to do less reggae songs and do more different, you know, like I would love to do more soul song or things like that.
I'm looking forward to hearing it because, again, the way how you present it and bring it, crazy. Even that, what made you decide to come up with your own label?
Because of the experience I had with labels in the past, you know, when you actually have to go in front of the CEO and tear down your contract and say, yo, go suck your mother. You know, but no, all things aside, I squashed the beef with the label last year. The CEO was in Toronto and I called him and I said, yo, let's meet. And I went to his hotel there and we squashed the beef and everything. So everything is cool now, but labels, you know, I don't know. I think artists should create their own label, sign themselves, and release themselves. You know, I think artists have the powers to do so in 2021. I don't see why labels are so important. You know, and the thing with label, especially with label in Montreal and things, the biggest label there, like hip hop and things like this is all grant money. So none of the CEOs for those labels put money from their own pocket. It's grant money that they put in the music, or they put their own money and then the grant reimburse itself and so it's not like they spend their own money. If you in business and don't spend your own money and take risk, I don't really respect that. You need to take risk. If you are like, let's take somebody like Dame Dash, put his own money, and you know, you need to put your own money. If you don't put your own money, you don't take no risk. You're not a real businessman. I don't want to hear about you, you know. So, I mean, and nowadays labels are not relevant. We don't need label anymore. We don't need label anymore.
I guess there's a lot that you could Google and a lot of stuff. I guess a lot of people. Are you saying you don't need a label from a reggae point of view or from a artist point of view, period, that includes R&B, hip-hop, reggae, period?
I don't think we need label anymore.
But you have to remember, the things with labels, they still have certain relationships that they could get you in front of places probably quicker than you could on your own. I'm pretty sure labels serve some form of purpose in 2021, but not the whole overarching purpose they used to serve before.
And I get your point, and you do have a point. Label can take you there maybe faster, but it's not a race. It's a journey. Music is a journey, it's not a race. And you know, yes, label them have certain connection, but if you're there, you're on your grind. But first of all, yes, you can create your own label, but you need a solid team. If you create your own label by yourself, then forget about it. You need a team, or you need a solid team. Very important, right? But aside from a team and creating your own label, yes, they have connection, but you can get connected yourself, and you can reach to those connections same way. And if you knock on the door, and ended up kicking the door, and trust me, they're gonna open the door.
Yeah.
And especially if you have good content. I mean, if you have good content, right? If you have good content, anything is possible.
That's what it is. It's having the label is cool, but you have to have good content and you have to have a good team behind it
Absolutely.
also. Because what impressed me, again, as I said, been following you for a couple of years. Okay, cool. I seen you put out the song with you and Turbulance and Wayne J. Okay, that's cool. I said, okay, let me go down the rabbit hole a bit more. But when it really 100% locked in was when I sent you a DM. I said, this is how I'm going to shake the tree to see if you're real or not. I said, send me your EPK. I didn't want to say electronic press kit, none of that. I said EPK, and you said yes. And when you sent it back to me, how I seen it laid out, I said, okay, this man here, he's the real deal. You understand? Because a lot of artists, you would tell them EPK or this or that. A lot of times they don't know what you're talking about. They might have out some good songs, cool, but you have to understand the lingo, you have to understand the language, and you have to be prepared at all times.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that
100%.
you were 100% prepared, ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's how it go, man. Well, we have to be prepared for everything.
Yeah, definitely. So, album, stuff coming up 2021. What are you doing for the rest of 2021?
You know, we record so many songs in the past year. We're kind of gonna chill out for the rest of the year. You know, we're gonna chill out a little bit. Maybe release another song if we feel generous.
Yeah, because you had put out a lot of visuals between last year and this year. You put out a lot of visuals, a lot of music. And it's not low quality. This is high quality music, high quality visuals to follow.
Give thanks. Yeah, but that's what we try. That's what we want to do. We want to provide the people and the massive with some great content, great music, and good energy, and make sure that they're satisfied with what we deliver. You know.
You understand 100%. Before I get you out of here, is there anybody you want to big up? Anything right now? The floor is yours. 100%.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Big up everybody in Toronto who give me a chance. Anyone who believe in me. You know, my whole team, you know, Bob Rhythm, you know, team in France, you know, Wayne J, Wayne Senior, everybody in the Waterhouse, and everybody in Scarborough, the whole world, man, you know, yeah.
And if they want to check out your music on the streaming platforms or social media, leave some contact info.
Yeah, Neto Yuth @gmail.com. Neto Yuth on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Neto Yuth.
Yeah, just like that.
Just like that.
Leave us with something before you go.
Oh, you want to say, hey, Neto Yuth come from Canada. Sagittarius and me born December. And a me family and me are the warrior. So me move to Jamaica firehouse area. And me know King Jammys and me know Scorpio. And me know Exodus and me know Jaro. Me na see no garrison when Neto Yuth can go. I will look some can straight down to Moscow. So me give them couple style but them couldn't come pre. All the deaf, all the dumb, all the blind want see. Gala broke out. And I climb pan tree. Some see me tricky like bread and Nancy. Gal want bring Mac up in the vacancy. And come on me yard, no wear no panty. And 9 months later, wait and see. And she a go tell me about pregnancy. And Neto Yuth have the whole place a rock. Me say lift it up selector, you fi pull it from top. More time to that, sometime me there jam rocking. And me new clogs boot and me diamond socks. Gal a wave like sea and a give me contact. One wash me clothes, one play in a me locks. Gideon time, so no time for relax. Long time me tell them Babylon I say chop yeah. Pon the yang fast like lightning. Pon the corner them say it look frightened. Some say me white, some say me look like skin. Hey, Waterhouse dog no sweet like icing. Me bust it up, we no thump like Tyson. None of my shoes them don't carry license. This a no sandal, this a real garrison. Them don't know they get to that embarrassing.
Just like boss. You see, and that's what I'm telling you right there. Those, your lyrics, your flow, how you put it together, crazy. You understand?
Yeah. Well, a long time we do that, so is some people might hear of Neto Yuth just now, but we've been doing that for 17 years.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know, you got to put in those hours. An overnight sensation usually took 10 years for them to become an overnight sensation.
Yeah, it's a long time work. It's just not, overnight. There's nothing is overnight in this industry. Yeah, absolutely.
Neto, as I knew it was going to be, crazy conversation.
Crazy gift. Thanks.
And I got to understand more the person behind the visuals, the music and everything, to really understand how your mind works.
Yeah, man. So it's an honor, really, because I've been watching interviews. You're one of the greatest interviewers here in Toronto. I'm not telling a lie. Yeah. In terms of podcasts, you're one of the greatest.
Thank you.
You know your stuff. You come prepared. Most of the people that do interview in Toronto, they just, But you come prepared. You come with the right question. You do your research. You come there. You're passionate about it, and that's the most important thing. So give thanks to be there. It's an honor. Long time I want to be there, because long time we've been chatting about this, but I'm glad it manifested and it happened in the right time.
You understand when it was supposed to happen, and now, to me, after seeing everything that you've done and been doing, I figured, you know what, now is the right time.
Yeah, and I cannot agree more than that. Yeah.
You understand?
Absolutely.
Big up yourself.
Muscle, big up yourself. Bless up, blessings, protection, protection, prosperity.
All the while.
Yeah, man.
Let me give you an outro and get you out of here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out. Bam.
Banging.
This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.